Hey everybody, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Clint. I'm Mystic Valley Designs, and I airbrush custom model horses. Today's episode, we're going to have something a little bit different, and it's going to be very, very short. We all work with acrylic paints, various colors, various manufacturers, but they're all acrylic polymer paints designed for the hobby industry. And a lot of manufacturers, specifically Createx is the huge name in the industry. Vallejo is another one, and there's 4 or 5 others. But they're all acrylic paints, and we all use them with water. But there's a better way to thin your paints. I've done what I would consider a little bit more than average amount of research, mostly on YouTube, some on Google, and then I went down the rabbit hole into chemistry, and that's a whole nother ballgame there. But anyway, we're going to talk about thinning your paint the correct way, or a better way than just simply adding some water. Now, adding water is A, cheap, and B, effective, so it's hard to beat just plain old water. But sometimes we want to keep the consistency of acrylic paint without thinning it too much, without changing the viscosity or thinning it too much with water. And water has the habit of doing that. It thins your paint. Well, it also thins your paint. We're going to talk about thinning paints and a formula. Now, I've watched literally probably 40 or 50 videos on thinning paint and making a homemade paint thinner, so to speak. I'm going to pop it up here in a second, and then I'll put it in the description down below. It is very simple stuff, and I've been running this for about 6 months now, and it really works. It really works well. It is cheaper than buying like a Createx paint thinner or a Vallejo paint thinner. So here's the formula. First of all, it's mostly water. About 1/3 of it will be isopropyl alcohol, and then something called rinse aid. Rinse aid is propylene glycol, and propylene glycol is the primary constituent or the primary ingredient in rinse aid, which is what you put in your dishwasher. There's a little trap door on your dishwasher. You put this stuff in, once a month, once a week, something like that, and you run your dishes. And what it does is it changes the surface tension of the water, so that the water, instead of beating up, sheets up and runs off of your dishes. Well, it can do the same thing to acrylic paint, but if you notice, you're only doing a few drops of it in 6 ounces of thinner. So anyway, back to the proportions or the percentages. 2/3 of it, 70% of it, is just sort of plain old water. The rest is isopropyl alcohol. You can get this for $2 to $3 for 16 ounces. I think that's a pint. And you can buy this anywhere, any pharmaceutical store. Big box store. Walmart is obviously the big name here in America, as well as getting it online and having it delivered to you. But like I mentioned a minute ago, I went down the rabbit hole into chemistry just to see what's happening and why it's happening and why you're using those specific ingredients. Let's start with isopropyl alcohol, the 30% of the formula. I'm going to hold this up for a second, but I'll also put it in the description. Isopropyl alcohol. It's a solvent and a cleaning agent. There's the formula. That's 3 carbon atoms, 8 hydrogen atoms, and 1 oxygen atom, all bound together to make something called isopropyl alcohol. There's the very next word. Do not mix it with bleach. Something bad will happen. I forget what. It makes something hideous. It's got a pH of on the alkaline or acid to base scale, which goes from 0 to 14. It's got a pH of anywhere between 6 and 8, which is pretty neutral. It's also an antiseptic. If you want to kill something, germs on the countertop or germs in a cut on your hand or something like that, well, douse it with isopropyl alcohol. And finally, it's a form of methanol. Excuse me. It's a form of methanol, which is wood alcohol, which means a type of alcohol that's essentially poisonous to humans, so don't drink it, hoping to get drunk. So that's isopropyl alcohol. And now onto the other ingredient, propylene glycol. Propylene glycol, this stuff, just simply, I have it labeled as rinse aid. The big name is Jet Dry. That's a trademarked brand name. But any of your stores will probably have a proprietary name slapped on the bottle. It's the same formula, it's the same product, just simply with the store's name on it instead of Jet Dry. Here's how it works. Now, if you notice, the pH is slightly higher, meaning it's not acidic, it's alkaline, slightly on the alkaline side. And again, it reduces surface tension. It's a solvent. I've been running this for 6 months. It works, and it works great. It does not have a shelf life. So theoretically, this could last for months and months and months, if not years. If you add it to your paint, it'll change the consistency of the paint, but it won't give the paint a pot life. In other words, the paint will still be good 6 months from now. Now, when you mix this up, probably 20 to 25% per volume of paint is the maximum you should be going. And that's true whether you're using this thinner or plain old water. If you thin it much more than that, then your paint starts behaving differently after it dries. It'll start to flake, it'll start to crack, things like that. So try to keep your percentage below 20 to 25% thinner. So anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. My name's Clint. I'm Mystic Valley Designs. I paint I airbrush custom model horses. But today's topic is acrylic thinner. So anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in. Peace out. Take care. Bye now.